In today's workplace series, we are talking about making a career leap. And how do you know whether it's the right time? Well, if you look around at the economy, there are some indicators that would suggest that the economy is going really well. There are other indicators that suggest that, things aren't quite so good. I would suggest that when it comes to making a career leap, you don't just look at economic indicators. What you want to think about is that even though you may not be ready to leap just yet, it's never a bad time to reflect on where are you at right now in the context of your career. Because when you get that clarity, you can start to identify when is the right time for you. Now, one of the key things when it comes to thinking about a career leap is throwing away the expectations that others have of you. Because what expectations do is they narrow your choices, they box you in. Expectations can drive you to have a fixed view about the type of job that you should do, rather than the career that you could have. When we follow the shoulds, what we end up doing is perhaps making a choice that suits someone else, doesn't suit us. So a key thing, know your career drivers. In the work that I've done, and this is with clients and also in research, I've found that identifying your next career step is best done in the context of your whole life. And that's because it's impossible to successfully separate your personal life and your professional life. Now, when it comes to finding your career driver, there's no one way to do this. There's no one right answer. And people are going to have different suggestions as to things to think about. What you want to be able to do is tap into aspirations, tap into your inspirations, which will help you understand how you view your career. Because for some, a career is really just a way to pay the bills, while for others, their career is central to their identity and they really want to seek a job that's fulfilling, challenging. It's not as though one approach is better than the other, because everyone's career aspirations will differ. So too is understanding what motivates someone's career choices. For example, you might be seeking a career which is really stable, secure, where you've got those set working hours and you've got flexibility. Or you might be after that well-paid senior role, which is really challenging, where you can learn. Or you might want a career where it's focused on giving back, contributing to the community. Those career drivers won't remain set. You might find that as you progress through your career, certain elements will change. That's certainly what I've found. And so when it comes to thinking about a career leap, don't lock in too early, because in those initial stages, you can sometimes be a little bit cautious, perhaps a little timid. And when you're fixated on one thing, this is the only thing, you might lock yourself in too early. And when you do that, you can inadvertently close off opportunities or avenues to explore. People frequently find that alignment between their purpose and what they're good at by trying lots of different things. So you want to be willing to experiment. And it might be that you get involved in voluntary activity. You might put your hand up to do something at work that you haven't done before. Look to expand your network, because the more that you connect with others, get involved in groups, you're going to test ideas, try new things. That's going to expand your perspective and your worldview. As well, when you talk to a diverse range of people, you're going to gain insights, potentially into areas that you haven't heard about, or things that you hadn't even considered were potential options. All of this is about expanding your range of what's possible. Next, you want to take a risk, because pursuing your purpose and your dream job often comes with a risk attached to it. It can be easy to go with the flow and to follow what everyone else is doing. Taking a path that others around you haven't explored means you need to get comfortable with ambiguity and making tough choices. And to do that, You have to be able to back yourself. There are going to be people around you who question you. Why are you doing that? Aren't you worried that it's not going to work out? Don't let their fears inhibit your thinking and throw you off course. Because the more you're willing to take a risk and to have a go, the more likely you are to find that career that's rewarding for you on so many levels. You also need to know how to make those trade-offs. And if you've ever followed my work before, you'll know that I talk about trade-offs a lot because everything in life is a trade-off. If I do this, I can't do that. When I left corporate many, many years ago, I walked away from that security of a high-paying corporate job. I was walking into the unknown of running a business, and boy, I'd never run a business before, but I was willing to take that risk because it aligned with my aspirations. Life is a series of choices. Doing one thing will often require you to give up something else. You might be willing to accept less money in the early days of that career leap because the learning and the growth that you're going to get in that role is going to help you leapfrog to something else. So much in your career are stepping stones to what comes next. It's easy to make those choices and those trade-offs when you know what matters the most to you. You know, it was the American author Mark Twain who once said, "Success is a journey, not a destination. It requires constant effort, vigilance, and reevaluation." Love that quote. And for me, it's so relevant in the context of your career. With every career, there are good bits, not so good bits, and some downright awful bits. You have those highs, you also have those lows. What counts? What makes the biggest difference is how you show up every single day and the steps that you're going to take to keep you on your best career path. Lots to think about. Love to hear about where you're thinking of making your career leap too. Take care. Have a great week.